Hello everybody, this is our Christmas week one. So what we decided to do was the big fight the other night, the big show. We're going to discuss that one and the gloves used on the show and the outcome of the show and what we all thought about the undercard as well. So here we go, it's me, Chris at Pro-Am as usual, as you already know. Now we'll start at the top and work our way down a bit. So, as you know, Alexander Usyk, he always wears Rival, sponsored by them, and he wore the Rival fight gloves. Now these are an 8 ounce and they have a different colour. It's just to explain. Now I've got here the SFH, which I think is the best model glove, which is a foam and horsehair blend, and I think it's probably the most comfortable, and it possibly the one that he used, but you never know out of the 3 models they have. Now this is the glove he used in a 10 ounce. Now obviously they're an 8, and obviously we all know Tyson Fury likes the Paffin Sport Pro Fight gloves, the Pro Classic, and these are again a horsehair glove, but obviously he uses the XL size because he's got hands like bin lids basically. This is just a standard 10 ounce. Now what I'm going to do on another one, we'll go into how these gloves fare against other brands, and so I'm not going to do that today. Basically it's more about who wore what gloves and on which fight they were used. Now obviously again he wore red and white ones this time, Tyson, because he wanted to look like Father Christmas, I think, because he had the beard for it, didn't he? Now being English, and Tyson being English and being a northern lad as well, I was like rooting for Tyson to win, and I actually thought if it's a close fight they might give it to him this time so we can have the decider next year, which obviously these kind of fights they bring in millions for everybody associated, so that's the way I thought it would be. But eventually I did score it 7 rounds to Usyk and 5 to Tyson Fury, basically because I thought Usyk has the right battle plan against big fellas. What he does, he forces a higher pace, which big lads, no matter how fit and talented they are, they can't keep that pace up for 12 rounds, and that's what he does best. Fast feet, fast hands, and he beats them to the punch. Whereas Tyson adjusted this time, and I think he put that extra weight on because everyone was saying, oh, he needs to grab hold, lean on, tire Usyk's legs out, etc., which he tried a few times, and my guess is Usyk and his team knew this was going to happen, and obviously they're not going to go out and do exactly the same again either. They're going to adjust on things that they did, and if you did watch the fight, you'll notice every time Tyson tried to grab him, he wouldn't let him, and he wouldn't let him get near enough in the earlier rounds to even try and attempt that. So that's the way it was. There was no showboating from Tyson. It was paper thin. It was a very close fight and a great fight to watch. I hope Tyson fights again because he's such a draw for the sport, and he's a character, and he's a lovely lad, and I think I'm hoping that him and AJ have a big fight in the new year at Wembley or something. That'd be a nice, a fitting end to both their careers, if nothing else, because I think AJ's done as well now. So that's that, and then obviously if Dubois beats Parker, and that's an if, because I rate Joseph Parker, I think that fight will be, the winner of that will fight Usyk, and I would imagine if I was him, get out at the top then, like Lennox Lewis did, and he's secured his legacy. They're all like pushing the late 30s now, so you know there's life after boxing, even for them men. They've secured the future with the money they've earned, so leave it to the younger lads. So that's me take on the big fight. Like I say, we're going to go through the gloves on another little slot that we're going to do. On the other fights, now we had everybody else wore these MX2s, and you know my take on them, that They're an awful glove with no wrist support and very little padding. Everybody else seemed to box in them, apart from maybe one or two wore Grant. Just I think two. Isaac Lowe wore Grant. Now, what everyone's raving about obviously is the Fisher-Allen fight. They both wore these. Johnny Fisher won the first few rounds, boxed brilliantly, best I've seen him, he's improving all the time. Again, nice lad, limited amateur experience, and he's learning as he goes. He's got one of the best teams, for me I always say, the best British professional trainers, Jimmy Tibbs, and his son Mark has obviously learned from Jimmy, and that is, in London, that's the best team for me. Unbelievable knowledge and experience in that corner and in that gym. And you can see it, how Johnny's improving every time he fights. Now, but the big test for him was his last fight against that Babic, who's a small heavyweight, as we know, but he can bang a bit, like, but he never got the chance, and he banged Babic out in the first round. So now Dave Allen was supposed to be a bit of a test for him, although Dave is he's got a bit of a sketchy record. He's lost quite a few, more than normal. I think that's down to the way Dave is. He's just a laid-back character. He's got skills in there, and he can punch his weight. But I just think sometimes he just goes through the motions. Now with Jamie and Nigel training him, I think they'll push him that little bit more. So, and it showed. He landed that big shot and he dropped Johnny Fisher. And from that moment on, I thought, from that moment till the end of the 10th round, Johnny was one shot away from going to sleep. If Dave could have composed himself, it's not his style really to be a slick, correct puncher. He throws shots from strange angles and smothers a lot of his work. And I think that's why he didn't actually get that last shot. But I actually gave that fight 4 rounds to Fisher and 6 plus the 10-8 round for the knockdown. So how those judges actually saw that way, I'm not sure. And I think everyone's going, well, give him the rematch. If he does get the rematch, I think obviously with the team he's got round him, Johnny Fisher won't allow that to happen again, and he'll beat him on points. So poor Dave Allen's chance of getting that belt has gone now, which is it's awful. And the first judge, who's a well-known top-class referee from the UK, I'm appalled at what he saw that fight. How did he see that fight that way? I think he gave Allen 1 round and the knockdown, which is, I think, stupid. So that was the big talking point fight. Under that one was another heavyweight contest, which was 19-year-old Moses Itauma against Dempsey McKean. Now, everyone who knows boxing and knows who Moses is knows what a talent he is. He was undefeated as an amateur, European and world gold medalist as a junior boxer. Turned pro at 18 with the idea of becoming the world's youngest heavyweight champion, and believe me, he's capable of doing it. He's just a natural raw talent. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant fighter. People used to see him at the age of 15 turning up to spar in pro gyms and giving established pros a hard time. That's somebody really special. But my personal opinion, I'd have liked to have seen him box for GB as a senior boxer, as an adult. Give him that little bit of experience. Because I think Frank Warren's been clever there. He's signed him at 18 years old and he's paying him accordingly. If he'd have come back with an Olympic gold medal in a couple of years' time and turned pro at 21, 22, or a world amateur senior gold medal or something like that, Mr. Warren would have had to pay him handsomely for all that, because his stock would have gone through the roof. So a bit of shrewd business gone on there. And as we see, Dempsey McKean, the Australian, the big fella there, he's got a good record. He's only been beaten by world-class boxers, and he was just blown away. I think Moses landed 2 clean shots, and that was it, done, ended. Again, they used them, so the bare knuckle effect you get off those gloves didn't help Dempsey McKean much. But that was there was no argument over who won that one, obviously. So that was that one done. The other one I'm going to mention, obviously, it was a brilliant fight, which was Peter McGrail and Reece Edwards. Now, obviously, we know Peter should have fought Dennis McCann, and there was something dodgy with a drug return, so Dennis was yanked off the bill. With less than 2 weeks' notice, Reece Edwards from Wales took his chance. Reece was undefeated in 16 fights. He's trained by a friend of mine, Gary Lockett, and I think Reece is a featherweight, whereas Peter's trying to campaign at the weight underneath at super bantam. So there's like £4 in it really, but there's always a difference with the weight categories, and it's there for a reason. And I thought you could see the strength difference in Reece against Peter. He was landing really good, strong shots, where Peter was using his skills and his fast combinations. So it was more of pick the one that you like. Again, they both wore these gloves, so Peter was probably feeling the extra power through the virtual bare knuckle that they were getting it with. And I thought it could have gone either way, that one. It was so close. I wouldn't have argued a draw on that, because I thought it just depends the way you like it. Strong, correct shots, and or skillful combinations. They were very even, and I think the difference, the reason it was even, was the weight difference. 2 cracking lads, and I hope both do well after that one. The only other 2 that were on the main bill were Isaac Ward and Lee McGregor, which was again another excellent fight. Isaac, I think, got frustrated, and he lost composure, and that's why he was beaten. He's only been beaten by world-class lads. He's a tough, rough, travelling kid, and he's a good test for anybody at featherweight who think they're going to get to world level. I think he's a strong lad. Lee McGregor saw the difference between he was a world-class bantamweight, and he saw the difference between a strong bantamweight and a strong featherweight on the night. But he deservedly won the fight, and good luck to him in the future. The other one was the I don't think many people watched it. The Ukrainian kid. It was what we expected. He was like, what, 24 wins, 23 knockouts. So we knew that wasn't going to go far. So I'm not going to say much about that. And again, they all wore the Everlast gloves, apart from Isaac. So I hope you like this play on the big fight. I hope you like this one on the big Christmas fight. And give us a like and a subscribe and a star, and come and watch us in the new year. Like I said on the previous one, we've got new things coming in the new year, so come and see us and pass us on to your friends, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.